Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for our third Thursday Common Sense Parenting Facebook Live. My name is Gabby, and I am here with Bridget Barnes, as always. Bridget, how's it going?
It's going pretty good. It's a sunny day today, so I'm always loving that.
Yeah, that's the best. Well, we've got a great topic today. We're talking all about gratitude since Thanksgiving is only a few days away. So, we're going to be relating it to that as well as talking about ways to not only be grateful year round, but to teach our kids, what does gratitude really mean and how can we be grateful in our own lives and extend that out to others. So, if you're tuning in live, and you have any questions for Bridget as we go through this discussion, feel free to leave them in the comment section of this video and we can go ahead and get them answered here at the end. Okay, so all about gratitude, starting with, the littles. How can we teach young children the concept of gratitude if they, have never heard that word before or might not know what it means?
Well, helping children understand about gratitude, I feel like it's kind of like intelligence. It's not fixed. It's something that we have plenty of room and opportunities to help them grow. So starting when they're young and using words that they understand and opportunities to interact with people and to use words that show that they can be kind and be thankful. It's just the start, laying that foundation for kids to grow in their ability to feel grateful and to show gratitude.
Yeah, that's great. So, what kind of expectations can parents set for their kids when it comes to practicing gratitude?
Well, I try to think of things to do and conversations to have on a daily basis, a weekly basis, a monthly basis about being grateful, being kind, being humble, or sensitive to other people. And then based on a child's age, their developmental ability, and how well they demonstrate gratitude, a parent will be able to recognize what kind of expectations they can have for their children. You really can just start with doing things around the house on a daily basis, being thankful for the food we have, that we have, water, clean water, friends, family, computer access. It could be just those kind of things. Or you can be more formal and set up like a 30-day gratitude challenge for your family where kids can really maybe think of somebody they are grateful for and send them a postcard. Or you could send a postcard to your kids that say how grateful you are. Or maybe even just having a whiteboard where you write down statements of gratitude during the day and then at dinner, kind of go over that. Those kind of things just bring it to the forefront, let kids know what your expectations are, and it's something that's important to you.
Hmm. Definitely. And I think, too, we're talking about setting gratitude expectations for our kids, but we also need to keep in mind to set them for ourselves, because if they see us doing certain things pertaining to gratitude, they're going to be more inclined to want to join in and do them as well.
You're right, Gabby. You can't say, do as I say, not as I
Yeah.
do, especially during seasons like this when we should be showing more thankfulness for the things that are around us that we kind of take for granted sometimes.
Yeah. So, what are some quick and simple gratitude practices parents can implement into their family's regular routines?
Well, that's a good question. I think start with the basics, just starting with saying please and thank you. You
Mm-hmm.
can get that out of kids, that's a good thing. Maybe giving them something that they no longer use, or telling someone they love you, or calling a friend or family member, giving somebody a treat. When a child gives up a treat, that's a big deal, or to
Yeah.
share a treat. Doing something for a stranger, or praying, being thankful, or giving encouraging notes, just being complimentary. Today, I saw a stranger, especially being complimentary or holding up, open a door for a stranger. And I saw someone with a really cute coat, and I was like, "That's a really great, pretty coat." And the lady's face just lit
Yeah.
up. That I noticed that, and so those little random acts of kindness, and your children watching you do that really pays off in the long run.
Yeah. Totally. And when we got this question, I thought of something that I actually do that I keep on my desk. So I do want to show it. It is just this quick. It's called the 5 minute journal. I don't know. You can't really see it. It's kind of bright, but I do it every morning and night, and it's really easy, and it's something you can totally do with your family. But you open it up, and it's like each page, has each section, and it gives you a quote about gratitude, and then it gives you 3 lines, and you write 3 things you're grateful for, and then you fill out 3 things under what would make today great, and then it's daily affirmation. So it says, I am
Oh,
dot dot dot, which also is
okay.
great for kids because they can say, I am a good sibling, I am a good friend, I am a good daughter, and then it can kind of boost their self esteem a little bit. And then at the nighttime part, it says 3 amazing things that happened today. So you fill that
Mhm.
part out, which again, just is an easy way to make you be grateful for what happened to you that day. And then the last part is how could I have made today even better? So if
Yeah.
you need a
I,
new journal, I got it on
oh,
Amazon. So if you love it,
Amazon, yes, where everything lives.
I know.
Okay.
Well, actually, people can do smile.amazon.com. And if you set up your charity to go to Boys Town, 0.5% of every purchase that you make goes right back to Boys Town. So
Yeah,
you can
that's
donate,
nice.
yeah, and
Okay.
shop. And, we're grateful for that for sure. So.
Yes, we are. We are.
Yeah, I got that question and I was like, oh, I need to show them that because it's 5 minutes, of your day.
Mhm.
So it's nice.
And it's in one little place, so that's kind of really neat to
Yeah.
have it in a little journal that you can look back on years later and go, "Wow, look at that." That's
Yeah, because you can put the date in, and I usually just do it, right before I start working for the day. But families could do it, when they're eating breakfast together or when they're eating dinner, and it can be more conversation starter too. So, which
right.
is
Cool.
nice. Awesome. Okay, so now that we're going into the holiday season more and Christmas is getting closer, how can parents teach their children that the focus of the holidays is not around material possessions?
Well, it's kind of like what you said before. Parents will want to model the behavior they want their children to focus on during the spirit of being thankful and of giving. So instead of racing around, having an endless shopping day, you may want to just stop during that day and just focus on what's good. What are we thankful for? And just have a moment, whether, you're sitting down and just taking a break to have a meal or in the car and you're at the light, just take some moments during the day to get kids to be thankful and to be grateful, and that you model that this is something, not just the gifts we're getting or we're buying, but also the thankfulness we should have in our families all the time, not just during the holiday.
Yeah. And we do have linked in the comments section of this video too a guide from Boys Town Parenting, and that is how to turn your kids into givers this holiday season. So if you haven't checked that out, I would highly recommend reading through that article. It's very helpful. So great. So more around, material possessions and gratitude around the holidays. How can parents handle kids who are constantly ungrateful or are always wanting more?
Well, it's pretty natural for kids to want more, especially if more is available.
Definitely.
Uh, yeah. With young children, I just love to read books and stories about characters who are grateful or who are ungrateful and what kind of happens, and talk about that with kiddos. Or with older kids, it might be a movie that you watch and kind of talk about, the gratitude that the characters should have. Just spending time reinforcing and cultivating a child's ability to be grateful. And scientists have identified 4 parts, Gabby, of a gratitude.
Oh,
Want to hear?
yeah. I didn't know that. I'd love to.
I was, researching this a little bit. And I thought, well, that,
Yeah.
that sounds like something I agree with. So, first thing you're going to do is get kids to notice when they could be grateful. So, let's say that grandma gives you a present. You can help the child notice the gift, or if you're having a meal, the meal they received. Grandma gave you that gift. Did you notice that she took the time to do that? yeah, she always says she loves me or whatever, they kind of have that conversation. So the next part after notice is to think. So
Hmm.
ask the child why. Why do you think you received the gift? Or why do we have this special meal? Getting kids to think and process. Because then when kids process information, that information stays in their brains longer. So getting kids to think. And then the next is feel. How do you feel about the gift that you got? How do you feel about your grandmother? How did you feel about the meal we had together? So getting kids to emote that and feel that. And then last but not least of the four is do. So what can you do to show your gratitude beyond saying thank you to your grandmother for the meal that she prepared or the gift that she gave? So it's notice, think, feel, and do. So actually having those components can help you with a child who's really struggling with that. And maybe they're an only and everything's always been given to them and they think everything should be. And so kind of using those four components to help that child who's struggling with being grateful.
Yeah, that's great. Four easy, action items we can think of when we want to do this. So that's awesome.
Yeah, notice, think, feel, and do.
Yes, perfect. Write those down and put them on the fridge so we don't forget.
I think so.
Okay, so the next one is how can we teach our kids the value of face to face time together? Not only around the holidays, but all the time. Instead of sinking into the norm of everyone sitting on the couch on their phones. My
Have more.
family, yeah, my family's guilty of this for sure.
I noticed my sister sent me a picture of the family.
Everyone,
Everybody was on technology. I don't think she even noticed it. I was like, did you notice that everybody playing with a game on a phone? I don't think they noticed it. I'm like, what kind of Christmas card is this? I don't know.
right.
But I think, just having more FaceTime where, we're going to have meals together. We're going to turn off technology at technology free zone or time when technology isn't around. And you'll find that people start talking or start interacting when they don't have technology to distract them, whether it's a television or computer or a phone. Um, I think, sometimes when we go for a holiday meal, I find kids on a couch in front of their little devices.
Yeah.
And we really should give kids, something to do. Maybe they're going to make, a side dish, or maybe they're going to help with part of the main dish. Maybe they're going to set the table or set up a game that the family's going to play after dinner, and they set that all up. And then praising kids when they do interact versus shooing them away. Invite them in and praise them for their effort. And playing gratitude games during the holidays is a good thing versus just eating and then we just lay back, and veg out. Maybe having a gratitude game and where someone gets the most gratitude that day because of the things that they're doing, and they get a special seat at the table, the special dish that's blue, or their favorite piece of the turkey, or whatever that might be, just to show gratitude for that person who really did so much for the family during that holiday season, or any day for that matter.
Right. And there's so many activities we can do this time of year that aren't on your phone. And especially with last year having been, at the height of COVID, if you go online and search like, fun indoor holiday activities, there are so many lists out there of things that we can do after dinner when we all eat together, or, before dinner, or just whenever it may be. So there's a
Yeah,
lot
we
of alternatives. We just have to make a greater effort towards actually doing them versus just sitting on my phone watching TikTok. So,
Yeah, we had the great baking show at my house, and so everybody was making their favorite cookie, and then you had to be judged,
yeah,
and people were acting like
yes,
they were
that's
falling. It
or
was great.
even with Thanksgiving next week, it could be everyone brings a dish, and then someone's a judge and picks the best one.
It
Or
was a great food. I mean, we got a
yeah,
great laugh at it. My sister who's a vegetarian, she made her vegetarian ones, and
yeah,
it was totally fun, and just brought us together and made us, really kind of not be on our devices and do something together
totally.
besides eat.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, a lot about being grateful is not comparing. How can we teach our children the concept of comparison is the thief of joy?
It
Which I think
is.
this pertains a lot, around the holiday season with, oh, what did Santa bring you? And, oh, well, Santa didn't bring me that, things like that, totally.
Uh, and the study that I looked at showed that kids who learn to be grateful are less jealous, they're
Okay.
less depressed. And so, definitely teaching children how to be grateful. And I would just again teach my child that when someone gets a gift, let's use the notice, think, feel, do.
Yeah.
Ask them. So, I noticed you got a gift. Who did you get it from? Oh, and so what did you think about it? I think it's really cool. All right, great. I think it's cool too. And how do you feel about it? Well, I love it. And, and say something to the, so are you going to tell your grandmother you thank her? What kind of crazy is that? Well, I did it and it was really cool. So kind of in making them be infectious, where they ask more questions versus you got that, I got this,
Yeah.
kind of, use that notice, think, feel, do. The child uses it with their siblings or with their friends. So they kind of bring that to the forefront. And I think we'll
Hmm.
create a society which that isn't so me, fight me, and just what I want and what I should
Right.
get. Kids use that.
Yeah. Very helpful. So, how can we show gratitude during the not so exciting or happy times of life? Because around the holidays, we definitely remember, oh, Thanksgiving is about being thankful, and Christmas, we're grateful for family time. But what about maybe the more difficult times or simply just the mundane days of life?
Yeah, it's kind of like looking at the situation from the other side or the glass half full.
Hmm.
This time of year, my son was like, Grandpa's not here with us, and this is going to
Yeah,
be different. And I said, yes, it's going to be different, but he left us a lot of really great memories and uh, things about himself that I see in you. And so that's the kind of thing we want to remember. And he would want us to be happy. And so,
yeah,
let's, focus on that. But being okay that it's okay to be sad, but it's okay to be happy too. Sometimes kids feel guilty about that,
right.
being happy. So I think that it's a good conversation to have with kids and to get them to focus on the positive versus wallowing in the negative, but being okay that they have those feelings. It's not a bad thing to feel sad or to feel like a little down, and recognizing that and being okay to accept how they feel, and then help them to be able to look at the other side of it.
Yeah. Totally. And we acknowledge too, the holidays are not always just this magical happy time for a lot of families. And especially, being struck with grief, they're
Mhm.
really, really difficult. So totally understand that. And like Bridget said, just acknowledge how you're feeling is very important. So yeah, I totally felt that. My dad passed away a couple years ago in the fall. So then the first Christmas without him, it was like, we all felt kind of weird because we found ourselves like laughing and smiling at certain moments, and then you're like, oh wait, is it okay that I feel this way? Well, yes, it's all valid. So yeah.
Yes.
And with that, we did just get a comment that kind of pertains to this convo,
Oh,
so I'll go ahead and read it now. But this one says, how can I help my stepchildren that lost their mom a few years ago and they're teenagers now?
mm. So, when there is a loss, whether, through divorce or through the loss of someone because of a death,
Yeah.
I think it's okay to have kids create a memory book. Um, have my son do that, and
Hmm.
to create a memory book of that person and the things you liked about them or you're grateful to about that person, what they like the best food they like, and bringing those memories up brings up the joy about that person versus the regret or the grief
Yes.
about the loss. And so versus shying away from the memory, I say embrace that memory and give kids a constructive way to do something with their feelings versus just kind of sulk in that or they don't know what to do with it. So I try to give them something to do, kind of like your journal, whether it's a
Yeah.
journaling or a memory book or just doing something that that person really loved to do. Let's go and do that. Fishing. Grandpa loves to fish. I don't particularly love the fish, but grandpa did. And so maybe doing that and finding, the joy in those memories.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. We hope that helps, and yeah, we're sending hugs to you as your stepchildren remember her this holiday season. So thanks for commenting. Okay, and so Bridget, let's see. Oh, we do have one more comment. Angela wrote here.
Hmm.
Writing thank you notes she found helps her kids. So they can't play with their gifts until the thank you note is written, which I think is genius because I feel like thank you notes just are so timeless, and a lot of parents don't make their kids do them, and they
Hmm.
probably should.
I,
So my parents made
they
me.
They really should. As a grandparent who sent a gift or two,
Yeah.
I kind of am old school. And I've gotten to the point where I used to want it handwritten or some, real note or something, but I'm accepting, emails or
Oh,
text
yeah.
too. So, but definitely just taking that moment to show gratitude is just really helps that child. It helps
100.
them, not the person they're thanking necessarily. It does help them, but in the long run, the child is going to be happier. They're going to
Yeah.
be healthier kids, less depressed children, less jealous. They're going to have less sibling rivalry. It is too many pluses to help children to feel grateful versus just the initial thank you.
Mhm. And too, if you do a handwritten thank you note, it also can teach a lot of kids the skill of like sending mail because a lot of kids, don't know how to. Where does the stamp go? Where does the address go? So it can be a learning opportunity too.
Sure.
Yeah.
And just use a postcard. It doesn't have to be a full blown letter. If you get a bunch of postcards together, you can
Right.
get those at some, little novelty store or dollar store or something like that. And kids can write their little thank yous on that and send them out right away.
Yeah, it's fun. That's good. So, Bridget, do you have any last tips for us on teaching gratitude that parents can take away from this chat?
Well, there's so many things to say about gratitude, and we won't have enough time. But speaking of the word time, I probably use that as an acronym to remind myself as a parent to incorporate gratitude in my children's daily life. So, time, the T stands for teach children. What is gratitude? What is it really? And then the I stands for instruct your children on things that they can do to show gratitude. You can actually do things to show your gratitude. And then M stands for model. Modeling that gratitude in your behavior pays off. Kids are watching what you're doing, not always what you're saying. So model that. And last but not least, the E stands for encourage. Encourage your children and praise them when they show gratitude, no matter how small it might be.
Yeah, that's great. So, we know the holidays are a very busy time. So, how can parents find help in this busy season from Boys Town Parenting?
Come on down to one of our classes or sign up for a class and learn more about the skills that we teach for everyday life that help you as a parent and your children. So you can go to our website, register for class, or keep coming to our Facebook chats. Go on to theparenting.org and ask the experts or download any of the great articles and videos there that we have. There's so many things that are up there for parents and for kids for that matter. I would say that it's important just to take advantage of those while your kids grow and learn, whether it's about gratitude or just the things we want them to do in daily life.
Yes, that's great. So, we hope this helped everyone, and we hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving next week. And we will talk to you next month in December for our next chat. So, thank you, everybody. Bye
See you
bye.
later.